Okay, multiplying polynomials. So if you have, and this is just our first example, if I have 5 times x plus 4. Now remember, if you just see the parentheses, it doesn't actually say that it's multiplying, but remember when you have a number and a variable right in front of each other, it's like they're multiplying. So same thing here, it's 5 times the x plus 4. So it is multiplication, and that's why we call it multiplying. So there's a multiplication right there. Now, I have to distribute this into both parts. So I have to do 5 times x and 5 times 4. What's 5 times x? 5x. And what's 5 times 4? 20. Now it's a positive 20, so I keep it an addition sign. And that's it. That problem is done. I can't combine a 5x and a 20, so that's as simple as it can get. Okay, let's do another one. This is example 1, example 2. If I have negative 4x times x plus 5. Okay, again, it's multiplication. So I need to multiply or distribute negative 4x times x and negative 4x times 5. What is negative 4x times x? What's an x times x? It is x squared. So it would be negative 4x times x, which just means negative 4x squared. So you can write either one, but if you're trying, if the problem or the whatever you're doing says simplify, the most simplest form of negative 4x times x is negative 4x squared. Now what's negative 4x times 5? So you multiply the numbers. What's negative 4 times 5? And it's negative 20x, so I'm going to put, so negative is the same thing as subtraction, so it would be negative 20x. Can I combine a 4x squared and a 20x? No. I can't combine x squareds with x's, so that's it. That's as simple as I can get. Let's step it up. Let's make it a little bit harder. Notice this one just has one number times a parentheses. This one has one term times a parentheses. So when we do this, if we're going to, we're going to multiply binomials. What's a binomial? It has two terms. So notice if I multiply a 3x minus 2 times a 2x plus 2, those are binomials. Okay. Now, watch this. I want everyone to watch. So, notice up here on this problem, I only multiplied the 5 times the x because there was only one term. This one, I have two terms in this parentheses and two terms in this parentheses. So you're going to have to distribute the 3x times the 2x. You're going to have to distribute the 3x times the 2. You're going to have to distribute this one into both parts. So since there are two terms, you have to distribute both of those terms into everything in this second parentheses. So what is a 3x times a 2x? 6x, what? Squared, because remember x times x gets written as x squared. Okay, what's 3x times 2? So 3 times 2 is 6, and you also have the x, so it'd be 6x. Then you have negative 2 times 2x. What's a negative 2 times a positive 2? Negative 4, and then times x. And then the last one, what's a negative 2 times a positive 2? Negative 4. Is this problem done? Why not? Simplify. What two things can I simplify? The 6x and the 4x. So the 6x squared doesn't change. What is 6x minus 4x? Positive 2x. And then minus 4 didn't combine with anything, so that is my answer. Now, remember on these, they always have to be written in standard form. So the highest term and then descending order. So this was called the distributive method. Some of you guys, and I will never use this term again, but some of you guys have heard FOIL before. Remember the F in FOIL stands for first, so you multiply the first terms. Then it's O, so the two outside terms. Then I, inside terms, and then the two last terms. So your Algebra 1 teacher or your teacher last year or whatever might have used the term FOIL. It's the same thing as the distributive method. The only thing is that distributive method is the more proper vocabulary word to use. So first terms, outside terms, inside terms, last. But I like to do, or I always call it the distributive. You just distribute both terms into that second parentheses. Okay, now let's do this one. I actually like this way more personally because I think it lays it out better. So if we have 3x minus 2 and 2x plus 2, I'm going to do the same problem just in a different, using a different method. How many terms are in this first parentheses? 2. And then how many are in the second parentheses? 2. So I'm going to make a box. And it's going to be a 2 by 2 box. I'm going to take this and write it here, so it'd be 3x and then minus 2. So you take each term and separate them out, 3x and negative 2. And then you're going to do this one, 2x plus 2. So that's a positive 2. It is kind of like a Punnett square. It's also, I always call it the box method, area box method. But yes, it is like a Punnett square if you've done that type of stuff before. Now, what operation is happening between the two parentheses? Multiplication. So it's, again, you're going to just multiply. That's a multiply, not a x. That's multiply. So you're going to multiply 3x times 2x. What's 3x times 2x? 6x. X times x is x squared. Then you have 3x times 2. What's 3 times 2? 6, and then times x. Then you have negative 2 times 2x. What's negative 2 times 2? It's negative 4. x. And then negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. So do you see those terms? Do you see how they match up? 6x squared, 6x, negative 4x, and negative 4. Do you see where you can see all of the same products? From? Okay, now, the reason I like this one more, because it's laid out and so organized, which of these boxes could combine? The 6x and the negative 4x. So you'll always see me put a circle around these, and I'm going to combine those. So we have 6x squared, and then you're going to add all the terms together, just like we were doing over here. What is 6 minus 4? 2x, and then minus 4. So do you see how I got the same answer? It just laid it out a little bit differently. Yes? So instead of having to draw these arcs and try to remember which ones you still haven't multiplied, you just, if there's 2 terms in the first parentheses, you lay it like this. If there's 2 terms in the second parentheses, you do it like that. Okay, let's do one more example and then you can get to the assignment for today. No. Oh, yes. So if we have negative 2x plus 1 and 3x minus 4. Okay, and I'm going to do the 2 methods again. So I'm going to do the distributive first. What's negative 2x times 3x? Negative 6x squared. What is negative 2x times negative 4? What's a negative times a negative? Positive. 2 times 4 is 8, so it'd be 8x. A negative times a negative is positive, so that's why I put addition. Then I need to distribute the second term. What's 1 times 3x? 3x. What's 1 times negative 4? Negative 4. Is this problem done?
No.
Why not?
Because you can still
You can still combine
combine 8x and 3x.
8x and 3x. Perfect. So the negative 6x squared stays the same. 8x plus 3x, what's 8 plus 3? 11. Don't forget the x. And minus 4. Okay. Now let's do the box method. How many terms are in the first parentheses? 2. And 2 in the second as well. That's a terrible box, but that's okay. So it would be negative 2x and 1, 3x and negative 4. Don't forget the negative on that. Okay, now let's multiply. What's 3x times negative 2x? Negative, don't forget the negative. Negative 6x squared. Negative 2 times negative 4. It's positive 8x. 3x times 1. 3x. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. Okay. Which of these boxes can combine?
8x and 3x.
8x and 3x. So the negative 6x squared stays the same. What is 8 plus 3? 11. And it's a positive 11, so you put addition. And then minus 4. So you are going to get to choose which way you do it. If you prefer the distributive, that's fine. If you prefer the box, that's also fine. Now, I am going to do one of the problems, that one that we did on the second problem. I'm going to use the box just so you can see how it will work every single time. So I'm going to do that same example number 2 again. It was negative 4x times x plus 5, right? Yeah. Now, how many terms are in this first part? 1. So I'm going to make it 1 tall. How many are in the second part? 2. So it's negative 4x and then x plus 5. What's negative 4x times x? What's negative 4 times 1? Negative 4. X times x? X squared. And then negative 4x times 5.
Negative 9x.
4 times 5 is?
20.
So it'd be negative 20x. So your answer would be negative 4x squared minus 20x. Now, the reason I do the box, and the reason in some cases I will suggest you do the box, next week or the week after we are going to start solving these equations, and in order to solve them, in some cases you're going to have to move backwards, so you're going to get something that looks like this, or something that looks like this, and it's going to ask you what two things multiplied to get that. And I am going to show you a trick that if you use this box, it will make it a lot easier. So please at least work one problem using the box just so that you can make sure you understand how to work it. But if you want to do the distributive on every single one of them, do the distributive on every single one. It doesn't matter to me. Does everybody understand? Okay, so there is an assignment on Schoology. As soon as you finish writing that down, you can get on the assignment on Schoology and start. Remember, if it has like a 4x squared, use a caret or the Shift 6 button to type it.